Good evening and welcome to the Town of Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, September 12th, 2022.
Recording in progress.
Time is now 7:03. First item on the agenda, we do have some orders to be signed. We can hold those until the end of the meeting. Meeting minutes, June 27th and July 18th. Do we have a chance to look those over?
I looked at one of them.
Okay. Which
June
one?
27th.
Okay, June 27th.
It looks fine to me, so
Okay,
I'll make a
anyone
motion
else?
if you want
Yeah, love that.
it. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as written for June 27th, 2022.
Motion made by Mike. Second by Eric. All those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye. Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Barker, aye.
Mark Mangiamane.
Okay, thank you. And July 18th.
As read.
Okay. All right, if we could get ready to accept that next meeting, that would be great. Next item, Uxbridge Douglas new gas main notification letter, Lackey Dam Road, Gilboa Street, and North Street, Douglas. Is anyone here on behalf of this agenda item?
Yep, this is Chase Bernier with SWCA here on behalf of Eversource Energy.
Thank you. And you want to give the board a quick summary?
Yeah, sure. The town had approached Eversource for a potential extension of an existing natural gas main. It currently ends just short of the Douglas line in Uxbridge. So the town approached Eversource asking if we could extend that line into Douglas and connect to an existing line that terminates there. So in short, it's a total of 8,950 linear feet of natural gas main. Of that, that's in both towns. Of that, 6,213 linear feet will be located in Douglas, and that's from the town line on Lackey Dam Road. It extends down Gilboa Street to North Street, and that's where it will connect to an existing main.
Excuse me, Mrs. Lawrence, please mute. And sorry about that. Could you share your screen with the plan, or Steve, whichever one is faster?
Let's see here. Let me see if we have a.
Thank you. Yeah, you have the ability to share.
There we go.
Okay.
Can you see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay,
You
so
can zoom in a little bit to the Douglas side. That'd be great.
sure. Well, I mean, some stronger picture. So this is where the existing main in Douglas along Main Street currently terminates. So we'll extend it along this route through Douglas, turns onto Gilboa Street. It's all within the roadway, within the paved existing roadway. And this is the Douglas Uxbridge line, and this is where it'll cross into Uxbridge here. So there's a couple, resource areas off-site. Obviously, some stones and buttons and whatnot in the road. All the yellow lines you see along the road are erosion and sediment controls. Eversource has a policy of using natural fiber erosion and sediment controls. In this case, it'll most likely be natural fiber compost filter tubes. As we previously said, all of the work is within the existing paved roads along the new main path. At the end of each day, the trench will either be backfilled and repaved or covered. Eversource will also have a weekly environmental monitor on site to inspect erosion controls, best management practices, good housekeeping, and that sort of thing.
Okay, thank you. So will you be going the entire length with the erosion control? Or
It's not the entire length, essentially it's within wherever the buffer zone is next to the resource areas. So for example, like here, like in this parking lot where there's no resource areas, there's not gonna be erosion controls there. That's another example. Everything else is pretty much covered.
Okay, yeah, the work would be, I guess, on the north side, you're saying there's no, there's actually a resource area where that parking lot is on the north side to the east, northeast. There is another wetland.
You're saying there's a wetland here?
Yep, to the right.
Where would the wetland be? I don't understand. Where would the stormwater, the little island here?
No, that's at, oh, I'm sorry.
He's in the parking lot, yeah.
Is that, that's, oh, before the mill? It's before the mill, right?
He's
Or-
in, yeah, he's in there
He's-
after the mill. You need to be over.
Well, I guess the whole entire area is within the jurisdiction of both sides, right?
Well, most of it, yeah. I mean, there's like this little portion here and whatnot, but yeah.
On the right side of the wall. He's got, it looks like he's got the erosion controls.
Okay,
Right
there we
there.
go.
So this mill here, you mean?
Yeah,
No, to the right,
Yeah.
you see it, right there, yep.
Oh yeah, there's erosion controls there.
That's what we were looking for.
yeah. Okay, board, any questions?
How do you cross the bridge on North Street?
Bridge on North Street.
In map 2.
Map 2.
You just went past it. Previous map to that. Right there.
Oh, so this is, there's enough existing cover within this crossing that we don't have to attach it to the bridge or go underneath it or anything.
Great.
Within the road, okay.
Yep.
Yep. So then I'll have
Thank you.
Any questions?
So it's gonna, again, back to the bridge, it's gonna go between the pavement and above the stonework that makes the structure of the bridge.
Yes.
Okay.
And what is the material? What is it? It's a gas line? What's the size of the gas line? What's the material?
The material of the gas line?
Yes, an HDPE pipe. What is it? Is it
Yeah,
ductile iron
yeah.
pipe?
Yeah, it's all HDPE. I think it's 8-inch if I remember correctly.
And so there's still cover, enough cover over the top of that with an 8-inch pipe?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Steve, do you know about that bridge and how that bridge is built? Is that all right? Is he correct?
I'm not familiar with the construction of the profile of the bridge. The only time that bridge, there was work with the Conservation Commission that Bill Clendon filed on behalf of the town probably like 5-6 years ago for some erosion on the west side. But I'm not too familiar with the structural design of it.
Okay.
I've never seen a road open.
That's a major access way. Do we have any concerns about bringing gas over this major access into the town? And the timing and scheduling of that work?
Chase, you could speak on the schedule and construction sequence.
So the town currently has work occurring in this area that they've asked us to kind of piggyback on that with. It's not the same trench, but it's occurring almost concurrently. I believe they're looking to start, in October.
And approximately how long will it take start to finish?
If the goal is, I believe it's 6 to 8 weeks.
Still gonna get asphalt? 6 to 8 weeks? At the beginning of December?
that's the plan.
And you're just here as a courtesy, letting the board and the public know that this activity is going to be occurring.
Correct.
Thank you very much. Steve, you all set?
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, no problem. All right, enjoy your evening.
Okay, thank you. Item number 4, no new information, correct, Steve?
That's correct, I would take them off the agenda completely.
All right, so we're gonna strike this off the agenda. Request for certificate of compliance, 36 Davis Street, James Fitzpatrick.
I get a what?
Okay, let the record show. Those recusing. And we have a little packet, a little plan in our packet as built. Someone here presenting on behalf of this item? Oh, come on over. And then Steve, if you want to pull up the pictures,
He's gonna pitch
Sure.
it.
Yep, hold on one second.
video, and name and address, please.
James Fitzpatrick, 36 Davis Street, Douglas.
Oh, okay.
There we go. See the video?
Yes.
And I think everyone has a copy, 8.5 by 11 copy of the as-built.
Yes.
So the work was for this 3-car garage. There's a little wetland pocket to the left here, and then there's an intermittent stream that runs along the back side of the property. There was quite a bit of a discussion when this first was filed about rotating it to limit the amount of impact, which he has done.
Okay, everything's stabilized, plantings installed. Board?
He's walking
Are
around the
you asking
corner.
me or are you asking Steve?
No, I'm asking the
Oh,
board.
okay.
I'm waiting until they get there in the video.
So he's got the plantings along the perimeter here. He's got the
Okay.
grass riprap, and then he's got the stone along the perimeter of the building. The stream is right into these woods area here. Those propane tanks that was discussed, notice intent. For the amount of, for the drought that we've had, everything, he's got a lot of grass growing, pretty well established and stable. Pretty much it.
Now, on the back, there was, on the conditions, you had 10 plantings. I put 17 in.
Oh,
I see that.
So,
nice. Deterring. Go up the hill. Okay.
Good deer food source too.
I know.
no, but they're resistant.
Are they?
I was told that they were deer resistant.
Oh, they
They're
love
rubber
it.
banded.
It's
The
a
warranty.
species that's deer resistant, so.
You've got the warranty tags, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to close and issue a certificate of compliance.
So moved.
Motion made by Mark,
Seconded.
second by Katie Grace. All those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
I crack a lie.
Mark, when's your mind?
Okay, you're all set. We'll sign that tonight.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. 80 Locust Street. Is anyone here on behalf of this filing?
So everyone should have a copy of their as-built plan package, and then
Yep.
I think the larger plan might be like some Mark's right, if someone wants to look at it. I should say 80 Locust on it. And then here's I got the video going too. I'm walking right where the septic system is right now. And another one, I don't know how they got crash phone, but they did.
Okay, perfect. Name and address?
Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and just an as-built for a septic repair at 80 Locust Street.
Board, questions? Stabilized? Looks like it's in the right location.
Where's the locus on that?
Locust?
Street?
Yeah, here's
Quite a ways away.
Southeast Main Street here, here's Locust Street, it's about the third lot up on the right-hand side.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to accept I move to approve the certificate, issue the certificate of compliance for DEP 143 TAC 1046 at 80 Locust Street.
Motion made by Karina Grace, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Article I.
Thank you very much. Request for replication modifications on 34 Grove Street. Name and address.
Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here representing Dale Bagma, and we're requesting to modify the replication, part of the replication area for 34 Grove Street. Just to get your brief overview, that was the single-family retreat lot with a driveway through the wetland. And we had wetland impacts for about 2,000 square feet. We designed a replication area on both sides of the driveway for about 2,700 square feet. And I know Steve's got the video up there. So I was out there with the contractor several weeks ago, and we were going to start the replication area. The issue over on this side is all the big pines that would have to come down. Even if we carved around them, we would have probably killed a lot of them anyways because of the roots. So over on this side, I highlighted in yellow. It's not as bad. There's smaller trees. There's smaller trees on this side. Still, some will have to come down, but it's not the bigger white pines that are on this side. So we're just trying to see if we can't. You see the smaller trees in between, and basically what we're.
Do you have a caliber size that you're looking at, or did you mark the trees?
Well, I will mark them when I meet the contractor again, the ones that we're going to try to preserve.
Sorry, one second. Excuse me. If you need to discuss something, if you could go out in the hallway. The speakers are very sensitive.
So what we're going to try to do is the bigger pines I'm going to flag and we're going to try to keep on this side, and then we're going to have to carve around, because really the only difference in grade between this wetland and what we're trying to replicate is we're talking about 6 inches to 12 inches, not that much. So we don't really have to grade down that much in order to get that 12 inches within groundwater. So I think we can, modify this, save as many trees as possible, but it's going to be, like I say, we're going to have to do some carving in and around the trees to try to keep some of the bigger pines. But as you can see with that picture there's a lot of smaller trees.
Yeah, the sapling size ones.
Right.
So I don't see an issue as long as your replication areas, the square footage is as proposed.
Well, I can do that. So
Yeah.
like I say, the original impacts we're impacting here on this crossing was 2,000 square feet. Our original replication was 2,700 square feet. This right here, I'm at like 2,200 square feet. I'm sure I could bump it up a little. I'm just, like I said, I'm just trying to save the big trees, without taking them down for,
Steve, is our local bylaw 1-to-1? Or is it 1.5 to 1?
You're right, the state is 1-to-1, we're, I believe, 1.5 to 1.
We can do that, but I'm just trying to save a few trees, that's all. If you want to do 1.5 to 1, we can, but like I say. And we walked We bought that whole property limit because you have the wetlands that go around the whole thing to see if there wasn't another more suitable place, and there really isn't. Really, this is the best place with the least amount of impacts.
Yep, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think if we at least get to our 120, even if you have to expand it a little bit, I don't see the harm keeping the larger trees. We did that on Orange Street,
Yep.
so.
Yeah, especially since it's a, Margaret can touch on this, it's a wooded wetland.
Yeah.
So, opening up the canopy just to create the wetland, it's not gonna mimic what it's adjacent to, and then it's gonna be like a magnifying glass and just dry it up, so
Yep.
anything you can see. I'd rather go 1 to 1 and 1.5 if you can mimic the surrounding
Yeah.
resource area.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. I think, yeah, if you get as close as the 22, still, I mean, you're not taking out 1 foot rounds, 16
No,
inch rounds.
some of those will stay. Like I say, we'll work
Yeah.
around it, so.
Right,
I just think it'd be a much better design
okay.
than
Or
what's on
any
paper.
issues with modifying that replication area to keep the larger trees?
I have no issue.
No objection.
Maybe I missed something. Are you saying that the replication area on this side of the road is going to be eliminated?
It's gonna be relocated over here. So we're not gonna do anything on this side, because on this side, there's a lot of bigger white pines. We're talking 24-inch to 36-inch diameter pines over here. There's no way we can kind of carve around them without pretty much killing the roots.
So does the driveway drainage go both ways, or does it?
Actually,
go to
at one of the last meetings, we pitched the driveway drainage so it goes this way.
Mhm.
So it's gonna go this way first and then that way.
Then I'm fine with it.
Consensus, proceed.
Thank you.
Just get as close as you can to that original square footage
Okay.
for replication.
Thank you.
Not more, though.
Ah,
Okay. Next item, we're going to, so that's gonna be on hold, 32 Cottage Colony. I think we're gonna go into new business, and get to the other ones, so. Public hearing, notice of intent, Southwest Main Street, Assessors Map 257, Parcel 3 and 4. Give me a moment. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Legal notice for public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on September 12, 2022 at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by Barbie McKedge. What is it? McKay. Located at Southwest Main Street, Douglas, Mass. for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves construction of a gravel driveway within the buffer zone to an isolated wetlands and the riverfront area to a perennial stream. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. or pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of open meeting law. General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, the public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda, posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the notice of intent may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission, 508-476-4000, extension 205-831. Okay, welcome.
Good evening.
Name and address, please.
My name is Joe Markerdot Associates, 8 Rose Street, Hopkinton. We're heading up the design team on behalf of 2 owners that I have here with me tonight, Barbie Keg and Rich Armstrong. I have a copy of the plan that has been posted on the board. We have received a street number, so I thought that may be easier to try and refer to this. We're now 502 and 504 Southwest Main Street. What we have is a 15.84 acre site on the easterly side of southwest Maine, heading down beyond the lake down towards Connecticut, about a half mile from High Street. We are out surrounded almost entirely by the Commonwealth of Mass and the state forest. There's one abutter, the Brophies at 500. The rest of the land on our side of the street is state forest. It's a combination of woodlands and wetlands to make up the 15 acres. We're about 200 feet wide, but we're 2,000 feet deep. The site is made up of two lots that show up on a plan from December of 1980, bought by, originally by Harvey's mom for what we had called back then in 2006 a family subdivision. We were trying to set up 6 lots for several family members to build homes on this parcel and create a compound. That idea, for a variety of reasons, has been abandoned. What we're currently proposing is one home on the 15 acres, one 3-bedroom home on the 15 acres, about 1,500 feet from southwest Maine. So a very private setting. We are almost entirely wooded with a few footpaths and trails, and that's about it. So it will be a great spot. The unfortunate part is we're about a mile from power, so they're going to be off the grid with everything that they do. Dave Crossman, B&C Wetlands, reviewed this on behalf of Barbie's mom in 2006 when Richie reached out to me back over the winter. I suggested we bring Dave back in. So Dave Crossman has gone out to the site back in March the 16th, to review the site. And what he found was an isolated wetlands up here on the northerly side over Lot A, a bordering vegetated wetlands down here off-site on the Commonwealth of Mass land through here. And then Rocky Brook has been in play in this proposal since 2006. We have that location here. It creates buffer zones for us. Here's the 100-foot distance off of the perennial stream, which runs kind of down the middle of Southwest Main Street, right down the middle of the pavement. And there's the 200-foot. We set up our 50 and 100 foots from the isolated wetlands here in orange. And to compound the planning process, we have a federal floodplain that dips into this site here. Controlled by location, not elevation, unfortunately. So we have taken that from the available maps, kind of dialed ourselves in, and feel this is the location. So what we are proposing is to access that home in the rear with a gravel driveway right through this location, north of the floodplain, south of the wetlands, a 12-foot gravel drive that would go through what is a gentle area through here and then up over hill and dale through the rest of the area. We asked Dave to give it a thorough review. He made himself available and went back about 1,800 feet and did not identify any other wetlands crisscrossing through the site. We gave him a house location that they had asked for, and he made it out to the rear of the clearing associated with that. So we feel the only resource areas we have are the offset from the BVW, the offset from the riverfront, and then this isolated wetlands. So once we clear that first 200 feet, once we clear that buffer zone, there are no more areas under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission that will need to operate in. So that's the reason we're here tonight, is to talk about how we transition that drive. It's very gentle through there. We have picked up at about station 1+0, 100 feet in. We lifted that foot. So we'll be up above that area there. We'll shed some water. We put a crown on the driveway to send water both, storm water both north and south. And as I said a moment ago, we'll put a gravel surface through that, very similar to what the Brophies have up at number 500. The concern here was the changes that we would make in there once we cut the trees, remove the brush, introduce some trap rock, and then the gravel subgrade. So we have shown erosion control barriers on either side of the driveway, a straw-filled filter sock, and some silt fencing from the pavement edge to a point just beyond the 100-foot buffer zone. More, I should mention that moving through this, Rich himself will be doing the actual construction work. So if we have questions about how this is going to take place, when it's going to take place, he is the guy that will consult for all of that stuff. We have received a file number from DEP. We have done our soil testing and have a septic design before the Board of Health for review. And at the request of Steve, Dave Crossman prepared a wildlife habitat based on some factors that Steve identified, and that was included last week in the follow-up that we gave to Steve for the commission to review. As a general overview, I'll be happy to take up any particular issue further if you'd like.
Thank you very much. Were there any comments on DEP's?
None.
Okay. And did you need to do alternative analysis at all for the riverfront area?
The entire area across our site is within the riverfront area. Dave mentions in his wildlife habitat that the location we chose is probably the most advantageous. I'll be honest, with a stroke of luck, we were trying to balance the interest of the commission and the federal floodplain, but Dave feels that we picked a good spot.
Okay. And also isolated wetland is only locally jurisdictional.
Correct.
So for the board. And the bank of the stream, so that is a named brook.
Yes.
Did you name it on your plan? Or does it just say?
It says Bank of Street.
Bank of the stream. We did not flag it. We located the easterly edge.
What is it called again?
Rocky Brook.
Rocky Brook, okay. And what about the gravel? So are you paving? Does the owner want to pave at all?
No.
Okay. And then the utility poles, you're not doing any utility poles?
No power within a mile. So they'll have a solar mounted assembly up top that will provide their power. They're confident it'll work.
Okay, so no other activity except
No.
for access. Is
Right,
there
simply
access
river.
right at this moment with a cart path or anything? Is there
Yes, there's a
existing
cart path up
access?
through that there now. and
That's
there's-
where it's located?
Yeah, there are several back through here, but there's one main that comes.
So it's previously disturbed
Yes.
as well?
Yeah.
That's probably where it wasn't wet.
Easiest spot to get in under
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Okay. Board, any questions? We don't have a stockpile area, so you have a standard condition, no stockpiling within the jurisdiction.
Right, we're fine with that.
Yeah.
Rich has explained the process to me. It's
Okay.
going to come in self-contained cans, kind of like the large dumpsters, roll-off dumpsters.
Mhm.
Material will go out in those, and the supplies, the gravel, the stone will come back in those. Makes a lot of sense the way he explains it. He'll only bring in what he needs for that day.
Mhm.
So there won't be several trips, the need to stockpile it, and then that concern about multiple piles, multiple individuals, all the things that can go wrong in construction site. So,
Okay, and what did you propose for erosion controls?
straw filled filter stock and the silt fence.
Okay. Board?
The map we have ends at that driveway part. So I'm assuming the rest is not shown because it's non-jurisdictional, but are we sure there isn't another wetlands area on the edge of the property where you're potentially placing the home?
We reviewed that in 2006, and there is a bordering vegetated wetlands with a stream channel that heads easterly, right about here somewhere. Our limit of work is 400 feet from that area.
Okay.
I felt in the interest of simplifying this review, show you something that didn't apply. And Steve asked us to put a note on the plan so that everyone was aware that,
Oh, okay.
that we have shown you all our work, and then if anything were to happen 500 feet from the home, they need to come back to you folks for permission.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're at 8% proposed riverfront.
Just from my understanding, how much further beyond the end of your map is the home? In terms of,
So we'll
Probably 200 feet, probably. This is a 40 scale, so right here. We stay that same width, but uniform all the way back.
Joe? Eric? Mike?
no problem.
This is a public hearing. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this item? Please raise your hand if you're online. Seeing none. Steve, anything else to add?
No, I think you did a good job addressing all my concerns and updating the plan.
Okay. Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike,
We got a second from Joe.
seconded from Joe. All those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Michael, aye.
Mark Mongemai.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to issue the order with our standard conditions.
So moved.
So moved. Second. No, all those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye.
Eric Harris, aye.
Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Mongemai.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good night. Good luck.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Next item. Notice of intent, public hearing, 54 U Street, Assessors Map 197, Parcel 5-1 driveway for single-family dwelling. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Legal notice for a public hearing pursuant to Mass General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act. Town of Douglas Conservation will hold public hearing September 12th, 2022 at 7 p.m. for a notice of intent filed by Ormston Corp. Located at 54 U Street for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw, Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work involves construction of a single-family house. The proposed driveway is within the 100-foot buffer zone of bordering vegetated wetlands. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. And pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of the Mass Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. Public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. Website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda, posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the NOI may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission. 508-476-4000, extension 205, August 25th.
Good evening. Margaret Bacon, Civil Site Engineering, and I'm here representing Mr. Dan Heaney for a proposed driveway for a single-family lot at 54 U Street. Just to get your bearings, U Street's right here. Here's the rail trail, Commonwealth of Mass Rail Trail is where it crosses U Street, and this lot is right adjacent to it. There's two wetlands in the front part of this lot, and then I have a proposed driveway that comes up. We try to scoot as far away from it as we can, and then the proposed single-family house will be beyond the 100-foot buffer zone. So work activities here, it's a 12-foot wide paved driveway. I do have a culvert here where the driveway comes close to that wetland just for drainage purposes, so we don't trap any water on the other side. And basically this wetlands here are kind of more created by kind of a seep wetlands in the low area, and as you start to go up the grade, it just gets drier and drier. So I do have a proposed 12-inch culvert here, a couple small little 2-foot retaining walls to keep the grading down, and that's pretty much it. Erosion Controls, stockpile area.
What's the clearing? So Steve's cursor, yeah, there, That's at the 501 proposed?
Yeah, so actually, so that little tree area right there, I believe that's this wetland right here.
Okay.
And then there's a smaller one right up, further up.
Is there already a path?
It's somewhat of a path, but it's getting grown in.
Okay, but there was
There was at
historically
one
a
time.
cart path?
Correct, and
Okay.
the driveway here is pretty much kind of going up where it was at one time. It's the easiest grade-wise to come in close to the rail trail and sweep around.
Alright.
So what's the setback from the wetland for the limit of work?
The limit of work is the culvert driveway.
Yeah, so it's right on.
The closest
No
area
problem.
right here is 8 feet. Right here at the culvert. I've got 8 feet to the wetland, and then I have the property line right on the other side. So I can't push over any further.
When were
And
these property lines established, you know?
I think a couple of years ago. 2 years ago? 1 year ago?
Last year ago, July, about 15 months.
Is there a driveway plan for the other lot?
Not at this time.
so do you think that you will be able to stay outside of the wetland area comfortably at that 8-foot distance? Or do you think you'll have some impact?
I think we can stay within the, it'll be tight, but stake in the erosion control line, and you're gonna just have to stay in there. I
Okay.
mean,
Did you propose
yeah.
silt fence also?
no, I just have straw wattles.
Do you think this
Well,
either
I-
double row straw rattles or?
I'd rather do a double row of
Yep.
straw than
Yep.
in silt.
Right, for more disturbance. Okay, that's, I think it's very close.
It is, but I mean, we're not in it.
Right, right.
Is lot number 2 an approved building lot? And is it owned by Mr. Heaney as well?
Yes.
Do you consider doing a common drive, which would allow you to move the driveway further away from the wetland area?
No.
I have a customer for each lot, and they have no interest in that whatsoever, and will walk. They're buying large lots for privacy, and they don't want to share anything.
So we're going to have double the impact because it's going to be double driveways in the same buffer zone, the same area. So it's potentially.
Potentially.
I mean, I can't. Yeah.
Board, anyone else? Questions, concerns? Yes, Art.
What size is the culvert?
12 inch.
12 inch.
So what was the purpose of the culvert?
Just so that, because this is, because of the little retaining wall here, I just didn't want to create any ponding or anything on the upside of the culvert, if anything's flowing this way.
This way, so it goes from 554 to 550 from here. So,
Basically, just to provide a relief, if there's any, during the big storm events, water
Yeah.
flowing this way, that's
Right,
all.
so,
yeah,
yeah, as
there's
far
no
as the
existing
wetlands,
wetlands there.
yeah.
It's just rainwater.
Sheet flow. Surface. Okay. Board, any other questions?
I have the same concern as Mark. I have issues with the driveway being as close as it is when there could be an opportunity to put on the other side.
Okay. Steve, any comments?
No, I think everything was addressed. I mean, I only had a little, she pretty much addressed everything right off the bat. You know, technically the green card, stockpile of material, distance of work to the resource areas. I think she added that in the plan we got today. Most of the work, the house, septic, and well is all outside the buffer zone. So it's really just a driveway. So,
Yeah, do you have an approximate square feet of
Yeah, right
buffer
down,
zone?
yeah, right down here on the bottom corner here, 0 to 50 buffer zone, 4,100 square feet, 50 to 100 is 2,500, and the total buffer zone 6,600.
I don't see a tree canopy line on this plan. Is there trees, or is it no trees whatsoever on the lot?
There's trees along the edge here, and then there's trees back here, pines. Actually, this was all cleared at one time, so there's a lot of young pines growing up. It's quite thick back here.
Steve, did you have an aerial of the site?
yeah, hang
Could
on,
you
let me
show
bring
it to
up
me again, please?
Yeah, hang on one second. Let me see it. I'll bring up the plan. See, this is 2019, 15. This is 2013.
That is where the wetland is.
That's all that was all cleared in the back.
Where is the wetland on that?
Right where the arrow, right where he's got his arrow.
Okay, so could you zoom in, Steve, please? Okay.
It's 2000. Here's another one. This is 2019. I think the house is going back here where it was cleared previously.
Correct.
So it looks like they probably filled, there was a hay field around this wetland that they just stayed out of throughout the years.
Okay, and this is number 54, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you had 56.
Yeah, I don't know, 56, I think, everything's right. I put 56 inadvertently on something.
It says 56 U Street on the plot plan.
This is 54, correct?
The NOI application, I believe, is 54.
Okay.
At one time, it was one parcel, and then it was 56.
Right, but so this lot here, the one is
Yeah, the
54.
building inspector assigned house number 54 to this lot.
Yeah, so this should be 54.
Okay,
I'll have to correct that.
okay.
I see this is a proposed gravel driveway.
Paved.
Paved.
Yeah.
Paved, it says processed gravel on the detail, and it says bituminous concrete grindings
Well,
on a typical driveway cross-section.
where is it, where do you see the,
That says processed gravel.
underneath, right. Yeah, a process gravel underneath the pavement.
That says bituminous concrete grindings.
So a lot of times for asphalt paved or asphalt driveways, it's either grindings or they pave it. It's pretty much the same impervious surface.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this hearing? Anyone online, please raise your hand if you have any questions for 54 U Street. Seeing none. Board? It's your pleasure.
I
see, I mean, pretty much that's the only option for the driveway location. No wetland impacts, no, just be very careful. Double row, straw wattles. Then change the address. And no, did I already ask you any comments from DEP?
No comments.
I'll entertain a motion. Somebody would like to make one. Close the public hearing. Motion made by Joe,
Second.
second by Mike. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye. Rick Harris, aye. Mike Russell, aye.
Mark Mangiapane.
Okay. I entertain a motion to issue the order of conditions.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike, second by Joe. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye. Rick Harris, aye. Mike Russell, aye.
Mark Mangiapane, no.
Tracy Sharkey, aye. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Make sure you get close eye on that 8 feet. Okay, 7 PM RDA public meeting, request for determination of applicability, 105 Shore Road, patio and driveway installation, Carol Malinsky. Town of Douglas Conservation Commission, 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Legal notice for a public meeting. Request for determination of applicability. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for conservation on September 12, 2022 at 7 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40. The proposed work for determination of applicability work location is 105 Shore Road, Douglas, Mass. And the applicant is requesting permission to add a paver, car pad, and patio. Public participation will be available by attending the meeting at the Town of Douglas Municipal Center located at 29 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass. Pursuant to Governor Baker's June 16, 2021 order suspending certain provisions of open meeting law, general law, Chapter 30A, Section 18. The public may participate in this meeting via remote participation. A website for the meeting will be provided on the conservation agenda, posted on the town's website at least 48 hours prior to the meeting. Copies of the plans and application may be examined electronically by contacting the Conservation Commission, 508-476-4000, extension 205, September 1st, 2022. Who is here presenting on behalf of this application?
This is Laura McCarthy. I'm the property owner's daughter on the phone, but I think Steve also has the materials.
Okay, do you have the plan that you can pull up? For the board?
There should be a copy in everyone's folder. It's also this, I believe it is, but let me bring the plan up and a video if you need it.
Thank you. Yeah, just a summary, we're just hoping to put in a 2-pad parking spot on 105 Shore Road right up the street, and then a patio replicating basically a dirt area that's by the lakeside. That's probably what we want to talk about more, all with permeable pavers.
Okay, and where are your erosion controls?
We will put hay bales all around the area wherever makes the most sense. But we plan to put those in. I don't know if they're on the plan, but we spoke to the landscaper about where they would need to go, and he would put them around the area. Yeah.
Well, here's the plan. I don't know if you can kind of see the pink areas.
Yeah.
And Wallow Lake, there's a little wetland right along here. And then the driveway they're going is right here at the top, and then the pavers are going in along here. In everyone's package should be a copy of the plan along with the description that their landscaper typed up regarding means and methods.
So, not seeing the description in our packet. Means and methods.
Anyone have a copy of it?
No.
I have the electronic one, that's all.
Board, if we could take a look at the patio area, as far as erosion control placement.
I'll bring it down a second while let me run the video so you can see the site.
Yes, so I would think we just run it across around the beach area from left to right. And silt fence and.
So here's the
you could do
video.
straw bottles.
Here's the video of the site.
Mhm.
We have to remove material in both cases, so this was 21 by 21. It says excavate. Just doesn't say how. Somebody's using one of yours.
Here's the one copy.
Okay, thanks.
And this is, I'm gonna give everyone, this came in an email while I was here, it's for the next project.
So you're planning to use an excavator for the material,
For the removal.
for the removal?
I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that question, because I don't have the details in front of me.
It says
Okay.
excavate area, dispose of soil for patio.
Oh, I think to dig down, yeah, to dig down to get the pavers in.
Is the video always that jittery?
Yeah,
Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Not extra bad.
yeah. I think our connection is poor too. These days.
Oh, that's the next project, yeah.
What?
I know we have a small plan, but just so everyone knows, the patio area is about 30 feet from the edge of the wetland.
Thank you.
Do you want to take a peek at this too?
Uh,
So the landscaper also proposes the silt fence, and we would use straw bales, not hay bales, along the appropriate location, I believe. So that would be here. Do you want to take a look at that? That would be what we would require.
Yeah. I don't feel comfortable. We're not really getting very much information here about what's happening, where's it going, or maybe this hasn't, I don't know.
Yeah, we just didn't have it in our packet.
I'm looking through it, it says the area for the driveway paver is 21 by 21, it doesn't set a depth, and then the backyard patio, 28 feet by 13 feet, 4 feet away from the tree. The paver base will be on non-woven fabric geotextile from soil separation at 8 to 10 inches. So they have to dig down at least that. And they plan on putting number 57 limestone.
So there'd be, the erosion controls should be noted as they're drawn on that little sketch, the last page of the packet that was submitted, with straw bales and silt fence. No stockpiling on site. Zigzag around the beach area.
Yeah. No, I definitely understand that piece, it's just not, I'm stuck on the map we have doesn't show those erosion controls. Oh, there.
Well, I just drew it on.
Oh, you did a nice job. Yeah, no, it's nice.
Thanks. I'm an artiste at nighttime.
Well, yes, but I don't think it jogs this up or the other up? The other up.
That image.
It jogs around the tree. It's just that this RMAC has this beach in yours. But
Well,
I
I think
agree that the
that-
erosion control should be before the beach.
Yes.
I absolutely concur with that. I would not put erosion controls on the beach. So,
Do you have a picture of the beach area?
these look very non-real.
They're not. They're not real.
So I don't think I have a
Oh,
beach.
okay.
Oh wait, do I have the plan? Well, here's the one that you just drew on.
Yes.
But no, I don't have a picture of the beach, but I agree, it has to do that.
Yes.
It's just that in this plan, from the old plan, that's not gonna work.
No. It's a patchwork.
Right, so I wonder if we should ask for a plan for this work.
I think conditionally we can grant a negative determination with a revised plan showing silt fence and straw bales at the proposed location that the landscaper has on his plan, except for going around the beach area.
Just to check, because I'm not sure on the plan, are we removing any trees for this project? No, okay. And both the patio and the parking area are supposed to be permeable when completed?
Absolutely, yeah, permeable.
Okay.
There's the description, I'm sorry about that, I don't know why.
That's
No,
okay.
it's actually, it's a very good description of the
It is,
work.
I thought I printed it out there.
Is the same work and the same patio material being proposed for the driveway up front and for the backyard patio?
Yes, same pavers, permeable pavers for both.
All it says is dispose of soil for patio installation. We'd have to condition that to make sure that's disposed of off-site.
Yeah, no
It just says
stockpiling.
disposal, yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
specify where, so we would recommend that be part of the plan.
Yeah, the conditional negative determination of applicability.
Is it okay to do construction right up to the property line like that?
If it's
Not-
paver,
Yeah, it's not a structure. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got an expert now. And still maintaining permeability.
and not removing any shade.
I think we have, oh, this is, number 50, yeah. So Steve, there is, exempt buffer zone activities with the state being outside the 50 lawn to patio, correct?
Outside the 50.
Right, so the car area, the car parking area is state exempt.
If you want, if it's not a patio, it's a driveway, but that's fine.
Okay. I see what you mean. Okay. Board, any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to issue a negative with the conditions previously mentioned. No stockpiling on site, revised plan showing the silt fence and straw bales at the appropriate location. No tree clearing, no machinery parked overnight within the
And no
100.
stockpiling.
And no stockpiling, yeah. Anything else?
Not just no stockpiling, but I would say removal of material that's from the site.
That is in the plan, it just doesn't,
Oh, is it?
It does say dispose.
Remove of excavated material from the site,
Yeah.
not just dispose of soil.
Oh, okay.
Daily removal?
Daily?
Well,
Like at the end of every day, so there is no stockpiling of material.
they have to, if we're not
Right.
allowing stockpiling, then they have to be removing the material
Correct.
each day. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because everything's within the 100. Is that a good motion?
It is, so moved.
Motion made by Katie Grace, second by Joe. All those in favor?
KJ Headley, aye.
Mark Mangumai,
Okay, thank you very much. So we need a revised plan showing the erosion controls, straw bales, not hay bales. If you could take off the old erosion control line for the house construction, that would be good, if you can wipe that out. And then call Steve before any work is commenced, so he can inspect the erosion control, since it's very sensitive area.
Okay, absolutely. So provision, just so I'm clear, we can move forward with all of those as noted.
Yes, so first would be the erosion controls would need to be
Yep.
installed.
Okay.
Well, actually, before that, get Steve a new plan with the
Yeah.
revisions shown on it, and then you can
Yeah.
install that, and then you can call Steve for inspection.
Great, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Next item, did not advertise, so we're skipping over that. Old business. Attorney Winter, you're here with us tonight.
I am present.
Hi, thank you very much for waiting. So I understand we've got the public hearing continued for the amended notice of intent, and then we also have the public hearing for Shore Road Lot 299, parcel 7.6. Would you like to give us an update on where we're at with the pipe location and including the actual pipe installation in the scope of work for 115?
I will do my best.
Thank you.
And I qualify that because this has been a little bit of a moving target. So what I'd like to report is that following the last meeting, the council, Attorney Potash for the owners, and I have had a couple of exchanges as recently as a few times today about the miller's intention to install a pipe and to show it on a plan. And I don't want to put words in their mouths because we've gone back and forth on this a few times, but here's my best understanding as of this moment, and hopefully they are present and they can give you their version after I speak. So my understanding is that they're at this time willing to go forward to purchase the pipe and install the new pipe. Obviously, there's a timeline associated with ordering and signing contracts for that. They are also willing to add a call out for that pipe on their as-built plan, which will be submitted to the Conservation Commission. So the existence of that pipe and its quality will be reflected on that as-built plan. We did not get into the details about what permitting, what kind of paperwork we might ask for in terms of putting the new pipe in. I understand they're reluctant to obviously spend more resources on this. They're already funding the pipe, so they're not inclined, is my understanding, to file a new notice of intent or do any kind of independent, plan workups or anything just for the pipe. But there's a couple options that we can employ to address that. But I think that's the sum and substance of where we're at in the discussion. Although, like I said, we had a couple exchanges. It was an evolving discussion, let me say. So that's the most up-to-date version as far as I'm aware. And if Attorney Potash is present tonight, I think he could give us the 813 update of the story.
Okay, thank you very much. Before Attorney Potash goes, Steve, do you want to weigh in on this?
I think that just at this point, we're leaving it with, right now, all the information is through legal town council at this point. I mean, he's been doing the communications with the attorneys and for the millers, so. As we go through these, I did get an email from Dean Lawrence that I gave a copy to everybody regarding the project, so I just wanted to call that out. I got it the last second, but besides that, I'll leave it up to Brian to update the commission.
Okay. Attorney Potash, let me open the public hearing, amended notice of intent, 115 Shore Road. At this time, this is 8:14. And if you want to just update the board on the plan and the incorporation of that pipe within that issued permit. Briefly. You might be muted. What are you expecting to hear? Attorney Potash. Oh. Isn't that him? I thought it was. There's only to speak. Mark, you see, you know.
I don't think we have him. We don't. It's
Okay, he's not present. So anyone for the applicant? No?
I'll join Steve. I'll leave it up to the attorneys at this point.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't have attorney for
I
that.
have no information. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mark, can you just double check? You don't see him online, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so board, we have an email in our file. I don't see anyone here representing the millers.
Understood?
So I don't want to get into a long-winded comment about that when they're not here
Nope, they agree.
present. So we have the email flooding on Shore Road peer review from Mrs. Lawrence that we can review. Steve, would you be able to reach out to the millers?
Well, I think that should be done with Attorney Warner, is my understanding.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
All communications should go through town council from now on.
Okay. So we
So
can,
maybe Brian can give an update. I mean, I don't know when the last time he talked to him. Did he give indications someone was going to show up tonight?
I thought there were.
Well, let me, if I may, Madam Chair, just to respond to that. Not clear. I mean, we exchanged voicemails, we spoke, but like I said, it was a moving target.
Okay, thank you.
So each conversation was quite a bit different than the one that preceded it.
Okay, all right. I do see one hand up. I will take one brief, this is a public hearing. I don't want to go into a long conversation because the applicant is not present. So, Mr. Bentley.
Hi, Greg Bentley, 119 Shore Road. Thank you for continuing your efforts on this behalf, and I will be brief. Just a couple of thoughts. The zoning approval, as we understand it, required that the road not be raised and that the pipe be maintained. I can just tell you anecdotally, the road has been raised. The highest points in that road, without a survey but observation, and I'll guarantee it, is along the frontage of that property down at 115, which now drains to the east, not to the west. It used to be a lower house, now it's a much higher house. And with the wall that was put in by under the proposed amendment to the site plan, you can very clearly see from the lakeside now that 115 is higher than 117, all along the property line with no provision for any catchment or ditch or anything like that. So any water that comes off of that property or makes it around that property is going to go to 117 or to the neighbor to to the north or the south. And all I want to say is this, it's an 8-inch pipe. We mentioned it ourselves this weekend. There's no question it's an 8-inch pipe. If the millers are willing to replace it to 12, we think that's wonderful. The zoning approval required that the road stay the same elevation, that the pipe be functional 12-inch. All I'd ask is that if there's going to be any peer review on this, please at least let's have a television inspection through that pipe, which at various times in these meetings I heard had been done, but nobody has it, or a quick TV inspection through that pipe to make sure that it's functioning. And we say have a great life and enjoy the property, and we'll be great neighbors. We just don't want to get flooded. And right now, any water that doesn't make it through that pipe is going to come to us.
Okay.
And
All right, thank you.
For that, I say thank you.
Okay, thank you, and I would suggest speaking with the zoning enforcement officer with any zoning enforcement issues. Okay, I would hope that
Okay,
somebody...
and just one last thought, could we get the pipe in before all final approvals are done? Let's
I'm
get the
sure
pipe
at
in.
this moment, you're breaking up, we're unsure at this moment. So.
Okay, and last suggestion, and this is only a suggestion because I know you're in a quandary. I don't know what your requirements are, but I would have no objection at all to that pipe being installed as per the original. It's a replacement of a 12-inch pipe in all, if that's what happens. And if that goes into your approval process on the site plan, so be it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to continue the public hearing.
So moved.
To October 3rd, 2022, 7 p.m. Motion made by Katie Gray, second by Joe. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Eric Harris,
Real quick, Tracy,
Yes?
before you finish that, I mean, do you want to have time to speak on mechanism of making, getting the millers or the representatives to reach out, make sure they show up for the next meeting, or?
I would prefer the attorneys coordinate to have them either withdraw their application or come to some agreement at the next meeting, October 3rd.
And Madam Chair, if I can just comment on that.
Yes.
I do have information about those things, and there have been discussions about those things, but just in their absence, I don't want to make any representation on the record. So what I'd like to do is continue the conversation, and what I hope is going to come out of it is a sort of mutually agreed upon process that we would then essentially jointly present to the commission.
Sounds wonderful.
So I will use my best efforts to refine it to that point, and if Attorney Potash and I can collaborate on that, we will have a game plan presented on the 3rd.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Okay. Next item, public hearing, continued notice of intent, Shore Road Lot 299, parcel 7.16. So the letter was sent to Douglas Properties, emergency certificate. So are you requesting a continuance tonight?
Yes.
Okay. So I will entertain a motion to continue the hearing to October 3rd at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Motion made by Mike, second by Katie Grace. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, aye. Eric Harris, aye. Mike Greco, aye.
Mark Lungimai.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for waiting. Next item, public hearing, continued notice of intent, 38 Hemlock Street, new single-family dwelling, possible votes. So we did the site walk. We have the wildlife habitat review, the riverfront area. And
I just want to comment, I did
Yes.
get an email late today from a butter, and I put that in everyone's package.
Yeah. Yep.
yes, we have this from 80 Hemlock Street. How close is 80 Hemlock?
It's towards,
To
that
30.
is towards the Rhode Island line.
Okay. We are concerned about potential permit on Hemlock Street. The lot is close to a stream. We are concerned about getting polluted, contaminated from runoff of proposed driveway. Stream is less than 30 feet from the road.
This is the one we sidewalked.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a stream right there.
Okay. Could you, Steve, could you pull up the assessor's map?
Sure.
Thank you. And name and address for the record while he's doing that, and some summary of the changes that you've made since the site walk.
My case was Alpha Omega Engineering. We had a site walk with some of the commissioners, and we were talking about the location of the driveway access and also the grading for the house and outside the 200-foot buffer line. My client looked at the previous drawing. We had some about 4 feet cut around the house itself. My client found a different house plan that will eliminate that grading completely. So now we're almost like at grade in this whole area. With a different house layout, and also we moved the driveway a little bit to get better side distance and for better access. When we worked with the commissioner, we agreed on that location would be better for the driveway. We have basin right there to intercept all the runoff from the driveway with the swale, and also we have dry well to take the roof runoff. So basically we're almost controlling everything coming from the site, from the work.
Containing it on the site.
Yeah.
And what do we have for driveway material?
Pavement.
Is that noted on here?
Yes, it says paved driveway.
So you've got riprap at the construction entrance?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. And right now, everything around the house is ad-free, almost. This is the previous plan.
Okay. We've got riverfront area only, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
There is a very tiny area in the woodland buffer. At the beginning of the drive, it's like maybe 5 feet.
Okay. I see. Board, any questions or concerns?
Yeah. Right, so we had to we wanted to go there just because it's more close to the air over the jump from the plane to Chicago to the air with the air. So we agreed that we wanted it to come out there. There's also, let's see, there's a limit of work. Oh, there, it's right there. Okay, great. Yeah, we were trying to move the space along, but it's not jurisdictional, so. Well, I mean, it's riverfront, this space is getting left alone.
Yes.
How will the side slopes to the driveway and the swale along the driveway be stabilized?
Right there, there will be actually grass swales on the side of the driveway.
And the slope?
The driveway slope.
But it's very close.
No, that slope, that cut slope on the side that your finger's on.
That's about 2 to 1 or to 3 to 1. Between 2 to 1 to 3 to 1 maximum.
And so how will that be stabilized?
Grass.
Okay.
And the swale itself will be grass swale, and all the grading here will be eliminated.
Driveway paved?
Yes.
checking on this dry well location. So you're approximately at the same grade as where you tested for the septic.
Yes.
And you've got modeling at 36 inches.
We,
So you don't have the 2 feet under the 3 feet. You don't have the 5 total feet.
where is it? Is it talking about the septic or the
No, I'm
dry
talking
well?
about the dry well.
No, we are raising the ground for the dry well, that's why we can.
Oh, you're raising it?
Yes,
Okay.
just to get the dry well. It's outside the buffer, but we just
No.
try to control as much as we can from the side, so we're adding a dry well.
You
And we
know-
have to be minimum 25 feet away from the septic.
Was that a suggestion by anyone?
With the dry well?
Yeah.
We can eliminate it, but we think that it will help with the drainage, controlling some of the runoff on the site.
I almost prefer more natural trenching on the side, stone, the drip edge. I don't know if anybody suggested that or if you did. I mean, sometimes
I think
they
it was
need to
his
be
recommendation,
maintained.
we
Yeah,
said, yeah, let's do a dry well, but I don't think we realized that it was gonna be that close to groundwater at the time. Because, I mean, we were concerned about runoff, and the dry well was one of the solutions.
But we're outside the jurisdictional area.
Yep.
So you've got, probably you'll never use the reserve, but all you've really got within the 200, within the riverfront is a portion of driveway and grading.
Yes.
It's not that steep of a slope, is it? Over there? It's 20, this is 2 feet here to here. My opinion would be it's optional, as it's outside of the jurisdictional area, and it's, the house is pretty far away from the jurisdictional area.
Yeah, for sure. We had talked about making the driveway steeper, and you said that we couldn't go any steeper, we're already at the maximum.
I already made it like 20% almost everywhere until I can match the grade.
Yep,
What's the pitch on the driveway?
Did you say 20%?
12%.
Oh.
12.
right, was the maximum he said we could go, so we went to that, because we,
Residential usually 12% maximum, commercial 10.
I like the check dams. That, I would think that would be able to slow everything down.
Yeah, they're gonna get a dirt behind them for sure.
Yeah.
Probably be topping off in short order.
No.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty defined swale, and it's got quite a bit of grade there, so it's
there's a bit of grading.
gonna channelize. And they're in groundwater too, they're in a cut, so I mean, there's gonna be a lot of water coming down there. I like the changes, I like how, we've added the forebay at the bottom of the driveway and the infiltration basin. I'm not sure how much it's gonna infiltrate, but at least it will slow down the water and dissipate it better, so.
Most of the water, groundwater itself is just bubbling, it's not like standing water or weeping. We didn't see any weeping or standing water in the hole. Actually, some of these holes we found like sand, good sand.
Yeah, that's exciting for a hot second. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be overly burdensome if there's an alternative, and you're raising up that area purposefully for that dry well to get the 2 feet
Yes.
separation.
Yes, and also I'm keeping the area of all the work outside the 100-foot riverfront.
Right, no, I appreciate the work outside.
Yep.
It's also, it's a way for him to lose some material possibly cut from the driveway.
Anyone else?
Is there a tracking pad at the base of the driveway until that?
Yes, yeah, it's right here. It's
Temporary 12-foot construction.
I thought that, what that,
Right here.
dippling or stippling might.
and there is a detail for it.
Great.
As far as the swale, that basin, do we have any language for maintenance, ongoing maintenance? If you're telling me that it's gonna be filled up with sand, the swale, the truck dams and the water quality swale?
We have general note for the work itself.
Okay, so we probably should incorporate maintenance into the order.
Sure. I mean, we have the note, the notes about the swale and the piece right here. So if you can see from the top.
Yeah. I think these are all construction notes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The concern I got is on that driveway, there's a lot of woods that come on.
On the street.
Is there a way that we can put a across this navigation part? That's a pretty good pitch.
Yeah, the driveways itself will be sloped toward the swale. The grading of the driveway, say, it's not going to be toward the street, it will have a tilt, so it will get the runoff toward the swale itself. I mean, we can add a little, I mean, we have a hump also on the driveway here, if you can see it. So, and I mean, little like a swale in the driveway itself.
The
on the spot.
105.8?
Yeah, so we can force the runoff to go into the basin itself.
I would almost rather see the grate, the drainage versus the dry well.
Do you list the type of material for the driveway?
Yeah.
It's a big
Hey.
driveway, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't see
Yeah,
that.
that's your turn, yep.
Yeah.
We're covered.
I mean, we can also add like a little drainage diverter at the end of the driveway.
Okay.
Little construction.
I think
that will
that
make,
Okay.
might be a good thought, actually.
Sure, that's fine. That shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to redesign the whole thing. I just,
I'm looking at the elevations of the road, you got 100, 200, driveway is 25.
Yep,
Get that water comes out there, you get any kind of winter weather.
it's gonna go right across.
Ice track right there.
Mhm. Yeah, all the
Could put
water
some
needs
kind
to
of a,
stay.
Drainage rate, something across the grade.
Yeah, so you've got an existing 106. Yeah.
Yep. We had to make a leveling area at the beginning of the driveway.
Mhm.
But we will add a drainage diverter.
Okay. Board, anyone else? Questions? Concerns?
Is it possible to do grades or no?
He's gonna do a drainage diverter. Why don't you describe that, what it would look like?
It's like a paved area, like this, like about 5 feet wide area, or like, I mean 5 feet on each side, and goes up to about 2-3 inches and down again. So it will force the runoff when it's coming down. It will hit the drainage diverter and goes down to the basin. It will be right between the 108 and 105, like right at the property line itself. You
How
go
high
up
is
and
it going
down.
up?
I'm sorry?
How high?
It's about 2.5 inches high.
Higher than that 105.8?
It will be
Are
right
you
at,
matching the 106?
it will be about, yeah, about maybe a little bit more, yeah. Just to get the runoff to, once it hits the drainage diverter, it will go back to the swale itself.
Right. We could also condition if there becomes an issue that arises, you know, once it's paved, we can actually see to make sure we won't release the certificate of compliance. And we could have a safety in there if
I'm just
some.
saying, the range we've been getting lately.
Mhm.
2 inches isn't gonna do what you want, yeah.
2.5 inches, I don't think it's gonna stop.
Oh, it should get most of that.
And if they do the driveway according to the design, tilted toward the swale, then, and which it has to be done, then most of the runoff from these areas will be directed to the swale. So whatever you get here will be that little area only.
Right. It would be limited to that
So
square
that- yeah,
footage
that's more-
of,
yeah, exactly.
or cubic feet.
Yeah.
That's what should happen.
And
So.
that's what you should have to do.
Right, right, okay. And any opinion on this dry well?
I have no opinions on the drywall.
Okay.
I'll take it or leave it.
We can have that as an optional feature, or you can do an alternative outside of our jurisdiction. And I think that the swale, you have the swale, you have the check dams. That should cover it, and then we can make a caveat in the order. If any issues arise with runoff, then the applicant will remedy them. Okay. Steve, any comments on this?
Not in particular, I mean, I just wish I know because they're limiting the amount of riverfront area, that instead of driveway going straight up, I made the comment before that it was more going towards, with the contours of the land, but I understand why he designed it the way he did.
What was the reasoning instead of going with the contours?
Because we don't want to try not to go into the 100-foot riverfront, and will be a longer driveway, and we'll be going near the tree area. Trying to see.
Okay. They want to keep the trees, the existing trees.
And stay outside 100-foot river.
Okay. Any comments from DEP about the riverfront? Did you provide an alternatives?
Yes.
Okay.
And he did a wildlife habitat study.
Right, that is included in everyone's packet. And you do plan to do the silt fence as well?
Both the
Okay.
straw waters and biodegradable straw waters and cement.
Okay, is that
Right
somewhere,
there.
because it says alternative option, it says optional,
Well,
silt
but
fence optional.
you can have the condition that.
Okay, okay, just so that the contractor knows to put that in. Okay. A lot of stuff happening on this plan. Okay, board, we have that wildlife assessment in our packet, and this is a public hearing. Anyone have any questions or concerns regarding 38 Hemlock? Please raise your hand. Not seeing any. Board? Satisfied with the?
Yeah, just make sure you keep as much of that goldenrod as you can.
Okay, noted on that. Anyone else? Nothing? Nothing? Yes?
So I think did it say in the plan that the driveway will be constructed before work begins on the house?
We had said that in the construction sequence to finish the driveway first. Stabilize.
And that's my client's plan also.
Stabilized but not paved, because you don't want trucks, concrete.
They can do the basement.
Yes, okay.
Yep.
Mark, you all set?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll just a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion made by Katie Grace, second by Mike. All those in favor?
Katie Dudley, aye.
Schultz, Pat, aye. Clerk, Harris,
Mike Burko, aye.
Mark Munch, aye.
Okay. And to issue the order of conditions with our standard conditions, as well as a drainage diverter added. Your dry well is optional, as it's outside the jurisdiction of the Conservation Commission. And a condition that if erosion occurs or water's entering
Wash out on Hemlock Street, yeah.
washout, it will be addressed and fixed.
Agree, so moved.
And
Oh, sorry.
stabilize the driveway with base coat before
Prior to construction of the
prior to
house.
construction of the house. And I also had one other written down condition, the removal of soil built up behind the check dams.
And ongoing yeah, as well as
Maintenance.
ongoing future maintenance, perpetual maintenance. Okay,
Check dams and forebay.
yes. Okay. Do I hear a move?
So moved.
All right, so Mark so moved. Second by Art, all those in favor?
Could you definitely add?
Joe, Eric Garrett, Eric Kawhi.
Mark Mudgeon,
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.
So I'll backdate those, I'll add those, I mean, if you want to sign the order tonight, you can, and site up, I'll add those, after you sign it.
Okay, you got all those,
I'll rewatch the video and then,
right, and silt fence is going to be required, not optional. Yes,
Yep.
Thank you.
yes, thank you. Okay, 7 PM, it's 8:44, public hearing continued, notice of intent, White and Reservoir Dam Operation and Maintenance Manual. Just a brief summary of where we're at this moment would be wonderful.
Sure. Hi, I'm Lauren Gluck from Park Corporation. I'm here with Matt Belisle from Park Corporation and Paul Hewitt from the Whitten Reservoir Watershed District. So it's been several months since we last spoke in front of you. Since that time, we had Amanda Mahaney from Solitude Lake Management go out and do a pondweed survey for the rare Tucker pondweed as requested by Natural Heritage. And then we have since submitted the results of that study to Natural Heritage for review as of August 23rd. We got in touch with them today. They did not have a chance to get us their comments on the study. We were hoping to hear those comments back for this meeting to hopefully resolve those outstanding issues. There was a healthy population of the pondweed discovered in the pond at depths of between 6 and 9 feet below the water elevation. So the conclusion of her study was that this population of the species has been thriving there despite the drawdown ongoing for many years, and that continuing this drawdown did not have a significant effect on the species, resulting in the take of the species. In addition, we had submitted an H&H analysis backing up that a 6-foot drawdown is required to protect the safety of the structure, and that the 3-foot drawdown that had been previously recommended by Natural Heritage would be inadequate to do so, and would result in more hazardous conditions and potentially more future repairs. So that was all summarized in a letter that was submitted to you and Natural Heritage, and we await their response. I will be touching base with them, with Natural Heritage tomorrow, just to let them know the timeline of the next hearing, and that, you know, given the time-sensitive nature of the fall drawdown, we would hope to have these comments resolved as soon as possible before the next meeting. So with that, I'm not sure if you had any questions on the materials or had any further concerns. I believe we had addressed all of the previous comments, with the Natural Heritage issues being the only outstanding.
No, I don't have any comments, board.
Okay.
Steve?
nope, I have no comments, which is, I think, which has been waiting on Natural Heritage.
Okay. Yeah. All right, thanks for hanging in. When do you suggest we continue your hearing to? I don't, October 3rd or October 17th?
We would suggest October 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah, the drawdown is scheduled for early October right now. So we're hoping that we get the comments in advance of that meeting so that we have time, you know, if there's anything significant to work through those. So the 3rd should work.
Okay, all right. Board, I'll entertain a motion to, oh, well, does anyone else have any comments on this item? Seeing none. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to continue the hearing to October 3rd at 7 p.m. Motion made by Joe, second by Eric. All those in favor?
Katie Devlin, aye.
Joe Fitzpatrick, Eric Garrett,
Eric Kawhi.
Mark Mudgeon.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Okay, so the only other item we had was Walnut Street conditions for the deed restriction for that riverfront area. So in your packet, I believe you have the language, the deed language, and that will be implemented before the lots are sold.
Yes.
So it'll be nice and clean and not forgotten and carried through. Steve, did you want to, so it says be placed on the land before any lots can be sold. So the restriction would be recorded, then it would be referenced in the deeds moving forward. I think that would be the.
Is this adequate?
Board, any other questions on that?
So that's already in all the order of conditions, they just, you want to sign it tonight, that language is in all four of them.
Okay. And Steve, do you have anything else?
No,
No?
that's enough.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, the other thing is, we have ZBA stuff in our conservation packet, so I don't know if you have any mail.
The very second.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll entertain a
Motion
motion.
to adjourn.
Yeah. Motion made by Mike,
Second.
seconded by louder Mark. All those in favor?
KG Dudley, aye.
Third correct, sorry.
Mike Burke, aye.
Mark Mundry, aye.
Okay, thank you very